What's up, Airsofters? We're here in the studio with Matt from Titan Power Batteries, who's going to be filling us in on all of the ins and outs on gas blowbacks. Just kidding. He's here to talk about batteries. Now, as you know, Titan Power makes some of the best batteries in the airsoft business, but they're a little bit different than your standard LiPo batteries. And Matt's going to fill us in on what makes their batteries different, maybe some of the charging information that you need to know, and really why these are a great, viable option for you as an AEG or even as a standalone battery for an HPA user.
Right. So Titan is an American company. We started in the commercial UAV industry building batteries for drones and planes and things like that. We finished a project with NASA that looked very similar to these stick batteries here. And we're avid airsofters, and we thought, man, that looks a whole lot like an airsoft buffer tube battery. And that's how the Titan Power division got started.
Speaking of going from the development of something for like commercial UAVs, like I'm sure that there are certain instances where a battery like a lithium ion battery would have advantages. Now, do these have an advantage over a standard LiPo battery for airsoft?
Yes, absolutely. The main benefit is really that they don't puff.
Okay.
LiPo is becoming the standard. It's starting to go away from nickel metal hydride. But one of the problems with having the higher performing LiPo is they do puff. Lithium ion cells are a steel cased cell that actually can't puff because they're not made of the plastic chemistry with the liquid internals.
If you're just getting into lithium-based batteries, you might not understand what Matt's talking about when he says puff. So motors and electronics in AEGs and other electronics platforms like RC cars, even UAVs, have a certain amperage draw when those electronics all function together. And if your amperage draw is higher than a battery can supply, that has a lot to do with the battery's amperage max as well as the C or discharge rating. If you draw more than the battery can supply, that's when you get inflation because the battery cannot discharge at a correct rate for the demand. These do not have that problem.
Right.
Now, they will get a little warm if you are overdrawing them, but at the milliamperage that these are designed, you would be very hard pressed to overdraw one of these batteries.
Right. That's actually a good topic that's really set for its own video, but C rating is something that's commonly misunderstood in airsoft. C rating is only part of the equation. You really multiply the C rating times your milliamps to give you your true output. So a higher milliamp battery will have a greater
Ultimately, it is part of the equation to give you your max amperage that a battery can deliver. And so it's just part of the equation. So, so if you're looking at batteries and you're like, oh, this one only has like a 10C or whatever, that number is only a small fraction in the equation that really relates to performance. For example, you've got a 7,000 milliamp battery. That thing's a powerhouse. Like that can power a 70 amp draw. Like that's incredible. Is it 70 or is it 140?
We actually also have a 52 milliamp 11.1 now. It's a big boy.
Yeah, okay. All right. So fill us in on your connector choices and maybe some information on charging and discharging for people that are unfamiliar.
All batteries that we sell come in Tamiya or Deans. T-plug is another word for Deans. We also have the JST plug for the HPA batteries. And the charging, really, you can use a LiPo charger. We like our charger the best. This is our digital charger. It has a digital readout here. You can actually unplug this from the wall, put it in your pocket, take it on the field, and check your percent while you're playing.
Oh, nice.
So
okay.
It'll also charge at 1.5 amps, and so you're going to charge way faster than many of the other chargers in that size.
Got it. Now that we've talked a little bit about performance and the different connectors and charger options, there are more advantages to lithium ion than just it doesn't puff. So tell us a little bit more about why this is a huge improvement for battery technology.
Yeah, so another reason is the capacity is just inherently much larger. If you take our smallest AEG pack, which is this one right here, the 2600 milliamp 7.4, and compare that to a LiPo that is in that form factor, you're going to be looking at something like 1,000 milliamp, maybe up to 1,300 depending on the brand. So
and that's your standard buffer tube battery.
Right, of course. And this will fit in all standard buffer tubes, and it's 2,600 at our smallest point. So the capacity is actually a big factor. It'll keep you in the game longer. I've actually made bets with people about killing batteries in an entire weekend. They can't do it. There's a lot of people that owe me lunch.
It'd be one of me because I run my batteries pretty hard. But yeah, so I'm sure that's not all. There's even more.
Yeah, so they don't fade. If you're still using the nickel metal hydride batteries because you're not wanting to make that jump to LiPo because you're concerned with the puff, nickel metal hydride batteries actually fade over time. Especially if you don't charge or discharge them correctly, they can have a memory effect. Titan batteries actually have none of those. So you don't have the puff, but you also don't lose life in fade. And so you can actually charge one of these and leave it in a closet. 2 months time, you're going to lose only 1% of the battery life.
Which is
So-
better than a lipo, because
Right.
lipos are about 1% a month.
Yeah, it honestly, it really depends on the quality of the lipo. But we've tested ours at 1% every 2 months. And so you can really just charge us up, throw it in the closet, and be ready for next weekend's game day.
For players that are getting into lithium ion technology through you guys, do you recommend storing, like if you don't plan to play for 6 months or a year, do you recommend leaving the batteries charged before storage? Do you recommend discharging them?
It's always best to follow the lithium ion charge and discharge guide on how to store if you're storing them long term. But if you're an avid airsofter and you're using these regularly, I wouldn't worry about it.
There's something that sets Titan Power apart from other battery manufacturers, and that's kind of a twofold equation that kind of go hand in hand. Tell us about how these are made and how you continue to support the customer after purchase.
Sure. So Titan batteries actually started in a Chinese facility, much like many of the Airsoft branded batteries that we see today. But with the demand, the strong brand that we have in our awesome community that's rallied around the Titan products, we've actually been able to bring all of that to America. These are now 100% American made, and they come with a 1-year warranty. It doesn't matter, the smallest problem, we'll probably warranty it if you don't like the color red on the back.
Nice,
So.
okay. So I can cut all my wires and send it to you. Just kidding, don't do that. That's a fire hazard. As always, with lithium ion batteries, we recommend, or lithium polymer, it doesn't matter if it's a lithium based battery, put it in a charging sack. It doesn't matter if you're transporting it or charging it. Don't leave it unattended. Put it in a lipo safe bag. Make sure that, all of the safe practices that you've heard of, existing with lipo, it's just a good idea to continue to practice those even with lithium ion batteries. We hope you guys are interested in checking these out. These are fantastic batteries. There are a ton of different size options to fit every AEG or HPA platform that you have. And with the longer run time, the warranty, the made in America stamp behind them, it really is a really nice ecosystem of electronics products to support your AEGs and stuff. So, Matt, thanks for coming in and showing us everything. Check it out.